Very, very slight.
Okay? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. ॐ दक्षिणस्य समारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशववामन कृष्णपाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञान गुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Bhagwan Shankaracharya is giving the sadhanas in a stepwise manner to a mumukshu based on the particular stage in the life he or she is in. So, what one should do for a natural spiritual growth in Brahmacharya Ashrama, what should one do and should not do in Grahastha which helps this person for naturally undergoing the Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Naishchalyam and moving on the path of moksha and towards moving towards the goal of moksha purushartha. And then in Vanaprastha what should one do, what one should not do to keep this particular development in one's moksha purushartha going on. And ultimately, what is sannyasashrama? And in sannyasashrama, what should one do, what one should not do? That is what has been the Sadhanapanchakam scheme. That is, here Shankaracharya takes a natural kind of, and there's nothing unnatural here. Naturally, a person passes through these four stages in one's life from Brahmacharya ashrama up till the sannyasa ashrama, and how, following certain sadhanas, this natural scheme of the stages of life, how can it be beneficial to a person in his spiritual growth and towards attaining the ultimate goal of moksha purushartha. So now we are almost at the end of the third verse. We will read the third verse, and then this third verse, then I'll tell you that we are talking about now sannyasashrama. Sannyasashrama already, he has in the last few two sessions, we saw what Bhagwan Shankaracharya talks about brahmacharya, grahastha, and vanaprastha in detail we saw. Now in the third verse, what is it that a sannyasi should do? Sannyasi means the one who has actually given up attachment and entanglement with the routine work or the routine karmas that one does. He may become a sannyasi by taking a ritual sannyasa, or being a grahastha itself, he may just withdraw from all the activity and completely remain uninvolved in any of the activities that he was earlier. So, this mental renunciation is also sannyasa. Physically renouncing everything and going away is also sannyasa. So, here sannyasa ashrama can mean either. And then in the third verse, he's talking about the sannyasa ashrama and what one should do. So, let's read the third verse just once. वाक्यार्थश्च विचार्यतां श्रुतिशिरः पक्षः समाश्रीयताम् दुस्तर्कात् सुविरम्यतां श्रुतिमतः तर्कोऽनुसन्धीयताम् ब्रह्मास्मीति विभाव्यतामहरहर् गर्वः परित्यज्यताम् देहेऽहं मतिरुच्यतां बुधजनैः वादः परित्यज्यताम्. So we already saw the first three lines in the last session of Sadhanapanchakam. Here, this entire verse, the third verse, is talking about a sannyasi dedicating his life. It could be a person who has taken a ritualistic sannyasa, donned on the ochre robes, and is living the life of a parivrajaka, or it could be that a grahastha who has emotionally and mentally, psychologically given up all the dependence on karma and upasana, completely withdrawn himself and herself, and dedicated his life exclusively to the study of Vedanta, finding a teacher for himself. So that's what was said here. In the second verse, also, it was said that one has to go to a teacher and ask for this knowledge. And as a sannyasi, as a person who has withdrawn from active lifestyle and who has dedicated himself or herself only to the study of Atmajnana, to the scriptures, and surrender to the Guru, what should he do? What should she or he do? So he says, Vakyarthascha vicharyatam. May you inquire into what the Shruti is saying. The central teaching of the Shruti or Upanishads is Mahavakya Vichara. What is Mahavakya? Tat Tvam Asi. That Brahman you are. That is the central teaching, the ultimate teaching of Shruti, which is called as the Mahavakya or Shruti Vakya. So Vakyarthascha Vicharyatam Shruti Shirav Pakshas Samashriyatam means Shravanam. I told you in the last session, the first line indicates Shravanam. May you be constantly, as much as possible, devote your time as much as possible to the listening of the Shastra Guru Mukhena. Guru Mukhena Shastra Shravanam, what the Shastra has to say, what the Shruti has to say, how the Upanishads start, and how they ultimately come to the Mahavakya Vichara. May you listen. So, Shravanam is the meaning of Vakyarthasya Vicharyatam. That is Vedanta Vichara one has to do. How do you do Vedanta Vichara? By Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. So, the first line indicates that one has to involve oneself in Shravanam. What kind of a Shravanam? It has to be a consistent Shravanam for a considerable period of time. It should not be in spurts and starts, starting now, listening once, then, not bothering about it for weeks or months together. That's not the thing. Every day, one must commit some time to the listening of Shastra. This is what is called as the Shravanam, consistently listening to Vedantic teaching through the mouth of an acharya, through an acharya. If a live acharya, living acharya is not available, we have prakarana granthas, we have got books, we have got written material, we have got now recorded material, and therefore listen to the Guru, listen to the Shastra in whatever way possible. Second line said, Dustarkat suviramyatam shrutimataha tarkonusandhiyatam. There may be different philosophies who are talking about Vedanta in their own way. Don't get involved in arguments and trying to prove this is right and that is right, and don't try to listen to too many philosophies at one time. Don't listen to too many people at one time because one may get confused. Unless this knowledge is well established, unless I have no doubt in whatever is being said by Shruti, let me not expose my intellect to too many varying and contradictory ideas. And let this knowledge which you have heard by Shravanam, may that be made doubt free. Don't make it more full of doubts. Therefore, stick to that system where you are, stick to your Guru, stick to that Shravanam, and try to make whatever knowledge you have heard, whatever knowledge you have got by Shravanam, make it free from any doubts, samshaya, without any samshayas. So it should be samshaya free. That is what he's saying in the second line. Dustarkat suviramyatam. May you withdraw yourself from unnecessary argument with other systems of philosophy. Shruti mataha tarkonu sandhiyatam. Logically and by Shruti Pramana, whatever is being taught to you by your Guru through Shravanam, may you try to make that particular knowledge doubt free. Samshaya Rahita Jnanam, working towards Samshaya Rahita Jnanam is what is called as the mananam. Listening again and again, bringing in references from other Shrutis, seeing the commonness between them. That is what is Samshaya Rahita Jnanam, making this Jnanam absolutely without any doubts. And this knowledge is it conviction is got into this knowledge. There are no doubts. It becomes a doubt free knowledge by listening again and again, asking relevant questions to the teacher, make this knowledge which is doubtless. This is what is called as mananam. Then it said, Brahmasmiti vibhavyatam aharahar garva parityajyatam. This is nididhyasanam. Aham Brahmasmi iti vibhavyatam aharaha. That is, day in and day out. May you be constantly in contemplation of what you have heard and what you have made doubt free by Mananam. Whatever by Shravanam and Mananam you have made a conviction, a knowledge of conviction, whatever has become a conviction in you, may you contemplate over that. What has this Shruti told you? Tat Tvam Asi. You are that Brahman. You, this Atma, this consciousness, is that Brahman, which is the Adhishtanam of the entire universe. This is what has been told by the Shruti, and this is something I have to constantly contemplate upon. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the sense complexes, I am not the Ahankara, but I am the Sakshi Chaitanya Atma who is not different from Brahman. That Abheda Jnanam, Atma Brahma Abheda, should be constantly contemplated upon. How long? It depends upon how prepared my mind is. Contemplation may have to go on for this entire life, maybe for lives and lives it may have to go on. It all depends upon how much I am prepared for this knowledge. And then he says, Dehe ham mati rujhatam. Dehe aham matihi ujjatam. Means what? May you contemplate during your contemplation. May you try to loosen your identification with the body. Dehe aham mati. I am the body. This is our strong feeling now, isn't it? Forget all about the mind and sense complex. And the body is the strong idea that we have. Dehe aham iti mati rujhatam. Let may you come out of that, loosen that strong identification with the body by constantly contemplating that I am not the body is anatma, the body mind sense complex is an incidental association with me. I am not the body mind sense complex. I am the Sakshi Chaitanya Atma which enlivens this body, which makes this body mind sense complex sentient and work. I am that Sakshi Chaitanya Atma. I have nothing to do with this Anatma. I am the Asanga Atma, incidentally associated with this body. Let this thought be there constantly in you. Dehe aham mati rujyatam, Buddha janaihi vadaha parityajyatam. May you understand it, contemplate within yourself. Don't try to argue with others. Don't try to argue with others, especially Buddha Janaihi Vadaha Parityajyatam. Try to avoid any kind of a vada or a conflict or any kind of a debate unnecessarily with scholars or with jnanis. It's not necessary. If you have understood you are not the body, mind, sense complex, if you have understood you are that Atma Chaitanya, Sakshi Chaitanya Atma, that is sufficient. Avoid any kinds of arguments or conflicts with other people. Especially avoid conflicts with Buddha Janaihi. Buddha, learn from them. Whatever they have to say, learn from them. Unnecessarily don't have any kind of arguments with them. So, this is what one is supposed to do in the sannyas ashrama. In today's world, it's not possible for us to, all of us, to take sannyasa in the ritualistic way and get away from our homes and start living the life of a parivrajaka, paramahamsa parivrajaka. It is not possible. The situations are not conducive for that kind of a lifestyle. Then what can I do? Being in my own home, being wherever I am, I withdraw myself completely from all my responsibilities, hand over my responsibilities to the younger generation, and commit myself totally commit myself to Vedanta Vichara. Commit myself to Vedanta Vichara. That's what I can do. If it is possible for me to stay away, live by myself, sorry, that's okay. Even that may not be possible sometimes. I may have to continue to live in the same environment I was earlier with the other family members. But then here, the renunciation is a mental renunciation. I renounce my roles. I no longer think I am a husband, I am a wife, I am a parent, nothing. If I'm asked for something, I do whatever I can. If I'm asked to help, I play my role, but totally withdrawn. Do it as if it is Ishvara Sankalpa and my Prarabdha, play my role, but don't get attached, entangled with that role. And this itself is the internal sannyasa, which is more relevant for these days. So, dehe aham mati rujyatam buddha janaihi vadaha parityajyatam. With this, now, all the four ashramas, the sadhana that one has to do in all the various ashramas, the four ashramas have been completed. Now, what Bhagwan Shankaracharya wants to do is a person who has already taken to sannyasa ashrama, either being a grahastha, withdrawing himself or herself totally, or taking to a ritualistic sannyasa, for the ultimately both of them are pursuing the same thing, pursuing Atmajnanam, committed to pursuing Atmajnanam, committed to knowing Aham Brahmasmi and abiding in that knowledge. That is the commitment in sannyasa ashrama, whether it is a ritualistic sannyasa or a mentally renounced kind of a sannyasa, staying wherever one is. Whatever it is, what is the purpose of this ashrama, the last phase of life, this particular last stage of life, it is commitment to Atmajnana. That is what has been told in the first three verses here. Next two verses, the fourth verse and the fifth verse, because this is a Panchakam. There are five verses here. So, what are the two next verses talking about? They are some supportive sadhanas to a sannyasi. How to make this knowledge absolutely firm, how to have jnana nishtha, how to abide in this knowledge so that I don't slip out of this knowledge. Abiding in this knowledge, what we call as jnana nishtha, this is what is described in the fourth verse and fifth verse. And what are the supportive sadhanas? What one can do to strengthen this knowledge, abidance in this knowledge, what one can do for jnana nishtha to be there, that is being described in the form of supportive sadhanas in the next two verses. And this is meant for the last stage, so the sannyasa stage of one's life, where one has already renounced the regular roles that he or she is playing, gone to the Guru, asked for this knowledge, done enough of Shravanam, enough of Smaranam, and Nididhyasanam is going on. How to make that nididhyasanam strong enough so that there is jnana nishtha or abidance in this knowledge. How to go about it? These are the supportive sadhanas or the general instructions that are being given to a sannyasi who has committed himself to the pursuing or acquiring of Atmajnana. So we'll read the fourth verse. क्षुद्व्याधिश्च चिकित्स्यतां प्रतिदिनं भिक्षौषधं भुज्यतां स्वाद्वन्नं न तु याच्यतां विधिवशात् प्राप्तेन सन्तुष्यतां शीतोष्णादिविषह्यतां न तु वृथा वाक्यं समुच्चार्यताम् औदासीन्यमभीप्स्यतां जनकृपा नैष्ठुर्यमुत्सृज्यताम्. So he says, Kshud vyadhishcha chikitsyataam. Just because you have given up everything, it does not mean that you have to go hungry. May you satisfy the Kshudvyadhi. Kshudvyadhi means what? The disease of hunger. Of course, it is a figurative speech. I mean, we don't say hunger is a disease. It is, he's just expressed it like that. Kshudvyadhi, because it keeps coming again and again and troubling one and puts one at not at ease. It makes one disturbed. Therefore, he says, Kshudvyadishcha chikitsyata. That means what? May you take care of your kshud vyadhi, hunger. May you take care of your hunger in the sense, don't try to go hungry. Don't try to, starve or fast unnecessarily. Whenever you are hungry, whatever is necessary, may you treat that hunger with the appropriate food because it is also the body which is necessary for you to carry on with this nididhyasanam and jnana nishta. So, kshudvyadhishcha chikitsyataam. May you take care of your hunger. Don't go hungry. Don't starve unnecessarily. Pratidinam bhikshaushadham bhujyatam. If you are a ritualistic sannyasi who has taken on to the ochre robes, left everything, and you are a wandering monk, then you'll have to ask for bhiksha. Those days it was like that. When a Swami Parivrajaka, Paramahamsa Parivrajaka, or a Parivrajaka sannyasi was wandering in the forests and here and there, wherever he found homes or houses, he would go at the time of, whenever he felt hungry, he would go and ask for food. So, bhikshaushadam bhujyatam. May you eat whatever you get in bhiksha. This is meant for a typical proper sannyasi who is a ritualistic sannyasi, a wandering monk. What about a grahastha? A grahastha who is staying at home, but in his mind, he is a sannyasi. Emotionally, he is a sannyasi. He has renounced mentally, mental renunciation has happened. He is as good as a sannyasi, but staying at home. What does it mean? Whenever you are hungry, you eat. Don't keep on eating unnecessarily when it is not necessary. Or don't try to fast or starve unnecessarily. Whatever is available, whatever is made, may you fulfill your hunger at that time with whatever is available. Swadvannam natu yachatam. Don't go after tasty things only. That I won't eat unless this is made. I will not take this bhiksha. That is said that, a sannyasi who's going for bhiksha, whatever he gets, he has to take. He has no choice. He does not have any choice. Whatever is given, he has to take. So, like, Swami Dayanand Saraswati used to say, for a sannyasi, what is the bhiksha? It is dal roti or roti and dal. That's all. There is nothing in north, in Rishikesh, when they used to go, they would get roti and dal or dal and roti. That's the only variation. Nothing else is there. Similarly, when a person begs for food, begs for bhiksha, goes from house to house asking for bhiksha, then he or she does not have any choice. He or she has to get whatever is given in terms of bhiksha. And how much bhiksha one has to take, there is a rule also in that. You're not supposed to ask in more than a certain number of homes. And whatever they give, if you are full with that, if you are happy, if your shuddh vyadi is taken care of, you should not ask for more or hoard more. That is what is said. One should not hoard it. Go on asking, hoard food for today night, for tomorrow morning. No. Whenever you are hungry, go and ask for bhiksha. Similarly, for a grahastha sannyasi, of course, grahastha and sannyasi are two opposite words, but a person who has withdrawn from all his grahastha duties, living the life of a sannyasi, still being in his own surroundings, for such a person, what Adi Shankaracharya says is, may you fulfill your hunger whenever you feel hungry with whatever is available at home, but don't demand for anything tasty. Swadu annam natu yachyata. I don't like this. I don't like that. I'm not going to eat because this is not up to my, liking. I want something more. For this salt is less. For this khara is more. All these kind of complaints, please do not have. Don't expect every time that whatever is given should be according to your taste. Because by now I would have given up all ragadveshas. It's already come there. I have to give up my likes and dislikes. Whatever is available, I take that. Swadvannam natu yachatam vidhivashat praptena santushyatam. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, yadricha labha santushtaha. If I get good food today, it is Ishvara's grace that today I have got very good food to eat. If I don't get food which is nice enough or good enough, I don't complain. This is Ishvara Sankalpa today for me. Yadricha labha santushtaha. And then what was, and he is dvandvarahitaha. He is absolutely a person who's not after avoiding anything tasteless and wanting something very tasty. There is nothing like that. Vidivashat praptena. Prarabdha, whatever it gives him that particular day, one should be happy with whatever one gets. May you be happy with whatever vidhivashat praptena santushyatam. This is what I have got today. This is the food that has been cooked today. This is what I have got today. Yes, I'm happy and satisfied with it. I have fulfilled my hunger with this and I'm not asking for any more. Yadricha labha santushtaha. Whatever naturally and automatically comes to me, I am happy with that. I don't ask for anything more. I don't complain at all about anything. And then in the next line he says, शीतोष्णादि विषह्यतां न तु वृथा वाक्यं समुच्चार्यताम्. So what does he say here? Shita Ushnadi Vishahyatam. That means what? One has to go through the polar opposites or dvandvas, the pairs of opposites. It is samsara. Even a sannyasi has to go through pairs of opposites. Just because he has left everything and is a paribrajaka, it does not mean that he does not go through any dvandva. Okay? Dvandva tito vimatsaraha, Lord Krishna says. Yadricha labha santushtaha, dvandva titaha vimatsaraha. Dvandva titaha means what? He is atita. That means he does not complain about the pairs of opposites. Pairs of opposites are the natural aspects of life. There is going to be Ushna, there is going to be Shita. There's going to be, that means cold is going to be there, hot weather is going to be there. Hunger is going to be there, full stomach is going to be there. Thirst is going to be there, taking care of thirst is going to be there. Sukha is going to come, Dukha is going to be there. Health is going to be there, disease is going to be there. So what is said is dvandvas are all the time there. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada. Krishna said also that in Bhagavad Gita, that once your sense organs are there, which are contacting the world, you cannot escape from the pairs of opposite. Life is not one particular thing. There are pairs of opposites. There are definitely one day it is a good day, next day it is a bad day. Today is a healthy day, tomorrow is an unhealthy day. Today is a happy day, I am very happy today, tomorrow I am not happy. Today is a busy day, tomorrow is not a busy day. Today I am feeling very active, tomorrow I am feeling very lazy. So these kind of Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha, Mana, Apamana, Stuti, Ninda, they are all there. That is why so many verses of Sthita Prajna Lakshanas in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Krishna talks about this samatvam in the presence of pairs of opposite. There are pairs of opposites, yes, but who is a jnani? Who has samatvam, who does not get disturbed by the pairs of opposites. He knows that the pairs of opposites are there. They are constantly coming and going, agama payinaha, and they are anitya also. They come, they go, they are anitya, they are bound to be there. As long as this anatma body mind sense complex is in contact with the jagat, one cannot avoid the pairs of opposites. Therefore, here also, the same thing which is told in many verses in Bhagavad Gita, Tulya Ninda Stutihi, Tulya Manapamanaha, Samaloshtashtma Kanchanaha, Shunichaiva Shvapake cha Pandita Samadarshinaha. You see, many of these verses in Bhagavad Gita are talking about a person, a jnani, who is not disturbed by the pairs of opposites. When he is completely abiding in this jnana swarupam, there is no question of getting disturbed by the pairs of opposites. Once I start getting disturbed by the pairs of opposites, my mind is all the time stuck in that, and I'm not able to really be abiding in Atmaswarupa. My mind gets disturbed. Disturbance of the mind in the presence of changing situations is an indication that I'm not abiding in my Atmaswarupa. When a jnani is abiding in Atmaswarupa, for a Jivan Mukta, the mind of such a Jivan Mukta is so composed that this mind does not get influenced by the changing situations. So we have to follow that as a value. When we are in this last stage of sannyasa ashrama and when we are pursuing this knowledge, we have to emulate these characteristics as our sadhana. This is a sadhana. For a jnani, not getting disturbed by the pairs of opposites is natural. But for us who are mumukshus, who are sadhakas, we have to emulate the lakshanas. Sthita prajnasya lakshanani mumukshoho sadhanani. You saw that. The lakshanas of a sthita prajna have to be emulated by a mumukshu. It becomes a sadhana. So I have to train myself not to get disturbed by the changing situations in life. So शीतोष्णादि विषह्यताम्. So don't get unnecessarily turbulent by changing situations or dvandvas or the pairs of opposite. न तु वृथा वाक्यं समुच्चार्यताम्. The eating tongue was talked about in the previous. Don't ask for unnecessarily, be very particular about food and all that. Now he's talking about your vak, your speech, the other function of the tongue. Natu vritha vakyam samucharyatam. Unnecessarily don't talk. Unless you are asked, don't talk. Because when we talk unnecessarily, it becomes more of a nuisance for others. And it is really not necessary for us to talk. Vaktapas was talked about in the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So ultimately, what is this Vaktapas? Trying to be silent. And whenever we are asked something, answer to the point. That's it. Don't unnecessarily give any advice, especially if you are in the grahastha, in the house situations, in your own house. Don't unnecessarily interfere in others' affairs. Don't gossip. Okay. Paishunam, gossiping. Don't do that gossiping. Talking unnecessarily, taking sides and talking unnecessarily, talking politics or this or that. Why is he telling us to do that? Because when we talk unnecessarily, when it is not necessary, our mind is lost, our mind is distracted by so many things. Nididhyasana cannot go on. In the fourth verse and fifth verse, supportive sadhanas for jnana nishta is being given. The more our vak indriya is active, whenever it is not necessary, our minds are also unnecessarily working, because the vak indriya cannot work without the mind. So the mind and the vak indriyas are unnecessarily involved in things which are not necessary. Where is the question of my training myself, my buddhi to be in for jnana nishtha? There's no question of jnana nishta here when I'm constantly talking when it's not necessary. So what he says, vratha vakyam natu samucharyatam. Try to be as silent as possible. Silent vak also, silent in the mind also. Stop interfering with other people's affairs. Unnecessarily don't talk. Only when you're asked something, whatever you feel is right, you say, don't say anything. A very, very good instruction for people who are living in their own houses and situations and pursuing this knowledge. You have a whole lot of time and mind available for Vedanta Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. Then he says, औदासीन्यमभीप्स्यतां जनकृपा नैष्ठुर्यमुत्सृज्यताम्. Last line of the fourth verse. Audasinyam. May you not take any sides. Constantly watching the TV, constantly reading the newspaper, taking sides, getting involved in political discussions, taking sides with so many. Don't take sides. Audasinyam abhipsyatam. May you be neutral. May you not unnecessarily get into any kind of an argument or any kind of a conflict by taking any sides, whether it's mitra or shatru, whether it is whatever it is. Let be, you don't get involved unnecessarily in things which you are not concerned with. That's what it is. So that all this means you have enough time for working towards jnana nishtha. That's all. These are supportive sadhanas. You are now a mumukshu. You are doing nididhyasanam. You want this aham brahmasmi knowledge to be a nishtha, and what are the supportive measures that you can take to see that this knowledge becomes a jnana nishtha, this knowledge becomes a conviction, this knowledge becomes a transformative knowledge. So he says, Audasinyam abhipsyatam, Janakripa naishturyam utsrajata. Don't bother whether people love you or people find fault with you. It doesn't matter. Ninda, stuti, mana, apamana is there for everybody. Don't try to justify yourself. If somebody is blaming you, let them blame. Naishturyam means if somebody is not good towards you, talking ill about you, forgive and forget and don't bother about it. If somebody is talking very good about you, say thank you and forget about it. That's it. So, Janak Kripa, the love of people, Naishturyam, or improper behavior from the part of other people, Utsrijatam. Don't get involved in that. See how that person behaved with me. How dare he talk to me like that? All that you forget. Some people, I will get love from some people, good words from some people. Some people may not, they may be not good towards you. They may ignore you or they may positively hurt you. It doesn't matter. So, Janak Kripa Naishturya Mutsrijyatam. Don't bother. Don't take sides. Whatever people talk about you, just do not bother. What they are hurting is this body mind sense complex. I, the Atma, is Asanga, does not get hurt by anything that anybody says. These sadhanas help me in making this knowledge absolutely a sthira knowledge, sthira prajnaha. It helps me to become a sthita prajnaha, a sthira prajnaha, where I can abide in this knowledge. This knowledge, this nididhyasanam, is meant for assimilation and abidance in this knowledge. And these two words are talking about what I can do to make this knowledge absolutely in which I can abide. Now, the last verse, the fifth verse, again, supportive sadhanas for jnana nishtha, for a person who is already doing Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. एकान्ते सुखमास्यतां परतरे चेतः समाधीयतां पूर्णात्मा सुसमीक्ष्यतां जगदिदं तद्बाधितं दृश्यतां प्राक्कर्म प्रविलाप्यतां चितिबलान् आपुच्युचितिबलात् नाप्युत्तरैश्लिष्यताम् प्रारब्धं त्विह बुच्छताम् अथ परब्रह्मात्मना स्थीयताम्. May you abide in this knowledge. Parabrahmatmana sthiyatam, the last two words. So, what should you do after avoiding all these things which were said in the fourth verse? Ekante sukhamasyatam. Try to be as much as possible alone. Try to contemplate upon ekante sukhamasyatam. Sukham asanam, what Lord Krishna talked about in the sixth chapter in Dhyana Yoga, is being talked about here. Ekante, vivikta deshe, trying to be away to whatever extent possible where one can be alone without being disturbed by anybody else. It may be one corner of your own home also, it does not matter. Ekante, where you can be alone. Sukhamasyatam. In a Sukha asana, may you seat yourself in a Sukha asana. Paratare chetaha samadhiyatam. May you with one pointed concentration, may you concentrate upon the Vedantic teaching on this Atmajnanam Brahma Chetaha Pare. Paratare Chetaha. Paratare means whatever teaching this knowledge has given me, whatever knowledge I have got from this Vedantic teaching about Aham Brahmasmi, or that Brahman Atma I being one and the same, Abheda, Jiva Ishvara or Atma Brahma Abheda, may you concentrate, may your mind be that Samadhanam or Chitta Samadhanam which was called. So may you completely concentrate on the teaching. Sit in a comfortable Sukhasanam. Try to be away from the usual regular disturbing situations. Be by yourself and concentrate upon the teaching. Paratare chetaha samadhiyatam. Purnatma susamikshyatam. May you contemplate upon yourself as the Purnatva Swarupa Atma. I am the Purnatva Swarupa Atma. I am the Ananta Atma. I am the Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. I don't lack anything. I am Asanga Atma. It is the body mind sense complex which has all the lacks in it. Lack, L-A-C-K, lack. That is, disturbance in it. I, the Atma, is Asangaha. I am Purnaha. I am Shantaha. I am Nityaha. Nothing can disturb me. Purnatma Susamikshyatam. May you constantly see yourself based on the teaching of Vedanta that you are that Purnatva Swarupa Atma, Ananta Swarupa Atma. You are not that Apurnatvam which the mind is all the time feeling. You are the Purnatva Swarupa Atma, Purnatma Susamikshatam, Jagadidam Tad Baditam Drishyatam. May you also see that the Jagat around you is only an experiential reality. It is not the absolute reality. This is the Nididhyasanam. This is the Dhyana Nishtha that I should have. I am Asanga Purnatva Swarupa Atma. The body mind sense complex and the Jagat with all their deficiencies is only an experiential reality. It is only a vyavaharika satyam. It is not the absolute reality. Aham Atma Brahma Yeva Paramarthika Satyam. Jagat is nothing but Mithya. Jagadidam Tad Badhitam. Jnanena Badhitam Jagat means what? Seeing the Jagat, seeing this body mind sense complex as not the absolute Satyam. A jnani also sees the multiplicity in the Jagat. An ajnani also sees multiple in Jagat. A jnani also sees his body mind sense complex. He also sees names and forms in the Jagat. But what is the difference between a jnani and ajnani? A jnani knows that the body mind sense complex and the Jagat is anatma and therefore not the absolute reality. It is mithya. It is only an experiential reality, not the absolute reality. But an ajnani thinks that the Jagat and the body mind sense complex are absolute reality. He does not understand the difference between the absolute reality and the experiential reality. And what am I supposed to do in this working towards Jnana Nishtha? He says that Purnatma Susamikshatam Jagadidam Tadbaditam Drishatam. May you understand that you are that absolute reality and everything else around you is a mere experiential reality. Mithya tad baditam drishyatam jagat. That means the jagat is baditam, jnanena baditam. Means what? The satyatvam of the jagat, the real absolute reality of the jagat is knocked off by this knowledge. Then how do you live with this? With jnana nishtha, one says this. What does he say? Prakarma pravilapyatam. With this knowledge, what happens? All the entire prak karma, all the sanchita karma is burnt off. Jnanagnihi sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute. Who said? Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. This knowledge, when you have understood aham satyam, aham brahmasmi, jagat sarvam mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha, the very teaching of Vedanta, when I have understood it clearly, what happens? All my Sanchita karma, which is called as Prak karma, is completely resolved. It's completely burnt away. Chiti balat na api uttaraihi shlishyata. Agami karma phala does not accrue to me. We have already seen that. In Tattobodha, we have seen Viveka Chudamani, we have seen. What have we seen? Once I have understood that I am the Akarta Atma, once I have understood that it is the body mind sense complex Anatma which is the doer, I, the Atma, am not the doer, I am not the enjoyer, then I do not accrue Agami Karma Phala also. So, what does he say? Chiti Balat Na Api Uttaraihi Shlishyatam. So, Agami Karma Phala also is not accrued by you. Prarabdham Tviha Bhujyatam. Then what remains? Prarabdha karma with which this body has come. Prarabdha karma with which this body is born, that has to be completed. That is what it said. But for the jnani, since this body does not belong to him, there is no ahankara, mamakara of the body, the jnani does not even say that it is his prarabdha karma. This body has to go through its karma, it is going through. That's what he'll say. He never says it is his prarabdha karma because he knows that he is not the body. But this body has come with a certain set of prarabdha karmas. Therefore, this body, before it falls, has to go through all the prarabdha karmas, work out all the prarabdha karmas. Therefore, he says, prarabdham tu iha bhujyatam. May you go through, may your body, mind, sense complex go through whatever prarabdha it has to go through. Atha, in this way, thereafter, parabrahmatmana sthiyatam. May you abide in this parabrahman. May you abide in this knowledge that you are that Brahman. So this is Jnana Nishtha. This is Jnana Nishtha, the ultimate. And once I have the Nishtha in this knowledge, what is this knowledge? This is the Vedantic teaching. This is what Vedanta has taught me, that you are not the body, mind, sense complex. It is Anatma. The Jagat is Anatma. Whatever transactions are going on between this body, mind, sense complex and the Jagat are a work of Prarabdha. This body has come with certain prarabdha and it has to work out its prarabdha. It is working out its prarabdha. But when you abide in this knowledge, Aham Brahmasmi, then all your prak karmas or all your sanchita karmas are burnt off completely. No sanchita karma phala is pending in your account. Therefore, there is no question of coming back again and again and again into this samsara. Because you have lost the idea of kartritvam, because with this knowledge you have understood what? Aham akarta atma. Aham abhokta atma. Aham nitya shuddha buddha mukta atma. So I have understood that I am the akarta, abhokta atma. And with this knowledge, what happens? Whatever karma this nani does, abiding in this knowledge, this karma phala, called as the agami karma phala, does not accrue to this dhyani at all. So there is no sanchita karma phala, there is no agami karma phala, and this body mind sense complex is working out whatever prarabdha that it is born with. And when that is over, then the body of the jnani falls, and this jnana nishtaha, or this person, is no longer there. There's no question of coming back again and again. A person who has this nishta still living in this body is called as a jivan muktaha. He is a jivan mukta because living jivan neva muktaha is not afflicted by whatever is happening in the body mind sense complex and in the world, with the world. Gunaha guneshu vartante, indriyani indriyartheshu vartante. This is a transaction between the Anatma body mind sense complex and the Anatma Jagat. I am Asanga Atma. I am Akarta Atma. I am Abhokta Atma. And a person living now and here, abiding in this knowledge, is free from samsara. Is free from samsara here and now, and this is what Adi Shankaracharya Bhagavan is talking about in Sadhanapanchakam. It is a purely a Vedantic text. It's an Advaita Stotra, which is talking about the various stages of one's life and how one has to make use of every stage of one's life from brahmacharya ashrama up till sannyasa ashrama, how one should conduct himself or herself, what are the sadhanas that one has to follow so that one naturally climbs up the steps of what you call, the spiritual growth, and gradually attains that ultimate goal of jnana nishtha and jivan mukti. So, with this, we have completed the Advaita Stotra called as Sadhana Panchakam, one of the very beautiful stotras by Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya. In the next session, we'll see some other Advaitas. In the coming sessions, we'll see some more Advaita Stotras, Advaita Parastotras, where the stotras are having the message of Advaita teaching. The message of Vedanta Vichara is there in those kind of stotras. Some more of them we'll see as we go along. Om Nandantu Sadhaka Sarve Vinashyantu Vidushakaha Avastha Shambhavi Mestu Prasannostu Gurustada Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu मा कश्चित् दुःखमाप्नुयात्. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति